What is up, everybody? This is your boy AJTRIP, and welcome to Rapid Reaction of WrestleMania Night 2, Sunday night. A very different night from Night 1. I would say Night 2 was better. Two WrestleMania classics, and some good matches along the way as well. Only one match under 10 minutes. That was the obviously the first match, which you know what? Let's just go ahead and just jump right into it. The first match, we know it was going to be Brock and Obafemi because it was going to be live on ESPN. They wanted to make sure that they show the future of the business in Obafemi. You want to have Brock Lesnar, a name that is known in combat sports for not only his collegiate wrestling, but and the WWE, but also he was in UFC, a major champions there as well. Um, Ober came out first with the stud, walking down the 75 yards of aisle they had there. Um, got in the ring, did his thing. Everybody, it was tremendously over. Brock was good too. He was great. Um, he was out. He was doing his thing, and man, it was incredible. They got there and they had to test the strength and locked up. And had some stuff going on there. Over got one. Brock got one. Did some moves. They went to the outside. Brock pushed over into the steel post. Got the finish up and started doing some suplexes. Um, but Over came back with like his charging elbows into the corner. Brock was able to get him back, pick him up, get him in the F5, hit the F5. Didn't phase Big Obafemi. He got up. He choke slammed Brock Lesnar, picked up Brock into the fall from grace, hit it one, two, three, done. Obafemi beats Brock Lesnar, and it cements his legacy as the guy, the one. Amazing. And then something happened that you probably should have, that because walking up to Obafemi, he does this to Lesnar. And I'm just thinking, okay, he's just paying his respects. But they go to Lesnar in the ring, and Lesnar is starting to stir. And he's kind of sitting there and starts taking off the gloves. And the crowd is going, oh, and you hear the crowd audibly like gasp, like, and he sits there, and then after taking off his gloves, he takes off his shoes. And if you don't know by now, in wrestling, when you leave your shoes, when you leave your gloves, like AJ did, when you leave your gear in the ring, it normally means that it's time. Your time is up. And that's what Brock did. He left his shoes and his gloves in the center of the ring. Paul Heyman came in there. And he gave Paul a hug. Paul raised his hand. He waved to the crowd, singing, "Thank you, Brock. Thank you, Brock." And I think I and many others, we were kind of waiting on Gunther to come out. Okay, no. This is like a setup for Gunther, right? Because we've heard the rumors that in Minnesota, where Brock is from, it's Brock versus Gunther. And so I think some of us are kind of waiting for Gunther to come out and like stop this. No, he's not going to retire after beating Ober. He's going to retire after I kill his career. But he didn't come out. They walked up the ranch, said his goodbyes, he waved to the crowd, and then he just walked off. Could that have been Brock Lesnar's last match? Possibly. Because things change in this business. Either this was something that was it all along, right? This was something that was going to be this was going to be this thing all along where Brock was going to retire at Mania, and again, they were just doing things to, you know, sending things out there to just for people can report on and look stupid about. There were, something could have happened maybe within the last couple months to where Brock said, you know, I need to go home and be with the family. So let's make this, let's do business with Oba, or there is always this, the there's always the thing where this could be a setup where Gunther will attack Heyman. He will get on Heyman. Gunther would do everything he can to get Brock out of retirement so that he can retire. And Brock will come back, and he still would do the match. But then they'll do it in his home of Minnesota, and it'll still be Gunther and Brock. We'll see. I'm not sure. Um, Here's what I will say: Brock Lesnar is one of the great wrestlers that's ever been put on this earth. Let me check my book here because I want to know. Because I redid my top wrestlers. I did my top in ring performers, and I did my top um yeah, the top 10 superstars of all time, and the top 10 in ring performers of all time. And when I did the re rank, I did put Lesnar in both, and he deserved to be in both. He's one of the great WWE superstars of all time. He's one of the great in ring performers of all time. He is a money drawing machine. He's just been great. Some people did not like Brock because he spent 500 days as the Universal Champion, where he wasn't on TV every week and things like that. And again, to that I will say that's stupid. It's stupid. The reason why is he's a part timer and he doesn't wrestle every time is because he's special. And and when he does, that means that it is a special event. To just have him on every show doesn't make him special. It's the same thing with Roman. It's the same thing with AJ Lee. It's the same thing with any other part timer that there is. Being there infrequently when he does come, it makes him special. There is the stuff from the lawsuit that he has been accused of. Again, accused, not charged or convicted or anything like that. And he would never be because it's a civil lawsuit. It's not a criminal lawsuit. So we'll never know. And people will make up their minds because that's what people do these days. So we'll never know, and that may hang over him. But when you're just talking about the wrestling stuff, it comes to Brock Lesnar, you can't say anything other than one of the greats of all time. The only thing I would say is that watch his entire career from 2002, 24 years later to 2006. 24 years he's been in, you know, off and on, but off and on 24 years he's been in the wrestling business. He was just he was special. And he gave the rub to someone who's just as special in Oprah Femi. Thank you, Brock. This is your retirement. Thank you for what you've done for the business. Thank you for what you've done for all of our entertainment. It's very much appreciated. With that said, I gave it 3 and 3/4 stars because it was one of those just hard hitting fly by the seat of your pants match and tremendously awesome. Next was the ladder match. And boy, boy, did they went out there to put on a show. They said, we're on ESPN. We're gonna put on a show. And they put on a show for the ages. Great moves there, great ladder spots. I was very, when Penta went for the Mexican Destroyer, on JD Madonna, I was very, very, um, you know, very worried because I believe it was either Penta or Ray Phoenix who did the Mexican Destroyer on one of the top flight kids, and I'm I guess maybe it wasn't a table he did it on, but he did it on the ladder. It was a table he did it on, and then it went they landed right and they broke the guy's ankle, shattered his leg in two. So I was worried, but it turned out it was probably the safest thing they ever did because he probably just landed in one of the runs. When he went to his leg, he either landed on one of the lungs or Penta's ass took the force of the bump, and all JD had to do was sell. So it looked kind of fun, but it wasn't even dangerous at all, maybe. So, but still, I was worried. Ray was still going. Did his thing where Ray did a launch pad, launched under Rusev, and fell back in Rusev. They broke the ladder, and then the ladder came up and hit Ray in the head. Ray, at 51 years old, you need to you need to be careful, Ray. Jesus Christ. Yeah, he's the. So I want to know because I'm trying to think. I think Truth may be 50, 53. So he may be the second oldest. But insane. Um. So yeah, Javon Evans did a OG cutter on the Rusev. Just amazing, and there's some really good stuff there. Great entertainment. Got the crowd in tizzy. Some people I think are gonna probably give it 5 stars. I give it 4 and a quarter star. Now you're gonna say, why aren't you just giving it the full 5 stars? I don't know. These star ratings are, you just get a feeling. You get a feeling of what it is, and something just felt like it wasn't a truly 5 star, performance. I may go back later in the year and just give it a full 5 stars. That's when at the end of the year when I do my awards. But right now I'm gonna give it 4 3/4 stars. Amazing. Pizza did win. He retained the IC championship. Next was the US title match. Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams. Sami came out, it's a bunch of boos. We had Trick Williams come out, and he came out with the white mink coat and then the long ass train. He had a little yachty with him, which seems to be something that's kind of, you know, a little something here. Uh, nobody seems to be bothered with little yachty. You know, just being out there, just being his second. So we'll see. The thing about this was that there was rumors that this was going to be a double turn, right? And Sammy he did some things. Yeah, he got like he was you know stomping on Trick when Trick was in the ropes, kind of for the doing the counter five. He attacked Yachty from behind and everything like that. So he was showing some heel stuff. Um, and Trick made the comeback and did everything like that. And then he went for they got the Trick shot. And Trick and Sammy got the victory. I give it 3 stars. So I'm not sure what a double turn was really just supposed to be. Was it just supposed to be the match again or something like that? But maybe they'll cement the turn on SmackDown. I don't know. I'm not sure. But yeah, it just was what it was. Um, but still pretty nice. I give it 3 stars. Next was the street fight between the Demon Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio. This was some nice stuff. It was good to see the Demon come back again. I thought Finn was a little bit extra more demony, than he had been in the past, even close to being to the point of ridiculous. You know, from whatever we've seen with the demon, he wasn't like this thing where you just he was sticking out his tongue. He was doing a lot of sticking out his tongue and everything like that. So I didn't know. Dominic interest was good. He came out with a bunch of luchadors, including one that was particularly very black, very black in the front row, in the very in the front left. And I was like, that's Dominic's right. So I was like, that's a very dark luchador. Okay. Um, but yeah, I thought this match was solid. Some good stuff. Finn got the win by doing the coup de grace with Dominic on the table. 1, 2, 3, the victory. Another 3 star effect. Next was the women's WWE Championship between Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley. This was again solid. A solid fight. Um, so it's very much so a good thing. Um, the baddie girls came down and um got involved, and EO came out with a top that was had no handles on it, so she was losing her top a little bit. Um, I'll never understand that. I don't know why the girls when they know they're going to get physical. I don't they don't go out and have something that's not going to you know hike your skirt up or pull your top down. That's I never get it. Remember, you make guys remember way back in the good old days. Back in like the Mae Young Classic, there was a woman, I forget her name, um, but she had issues with her top. It kept was flinching and everything like that, and she every other day she would adjust it, and then just back in 2006, Ray's mask wasn't tight enough or something. He kept adjusting his mask and matched Eddie Guerrero. So listen, it was what it was. It is what it is, right? So um, but it ended up Rhea Ripley hitting the Riptide. By the way, in this match, Jade Cargill hit a one-winged angel that they are calling the Sandstorm. I'm not sure why it's the Sandstorm. She's always been about ice and things like that, and but I guess just because it got storm in it, so it's called the Sandstorm. But Rhea kicked out of that, and then Jade went for the Jaded. Rhea was able to block it and go for a riptide, got it, and picked it up 1, 2, 3 to victory. Rhea is your new WWE Women's Champion. Solid, like I said, solid, real nice. 3 1/4 star. Yeah, really nice. John Cena came out to announce the attendance. 55,255. Combined weekend was over 105,000 people. So nice. Although let's be honest, I would I would be willing to say at least 40,000 of those 50 were probably repeats. They brought tickets for both days, so but neither here nor there, right? Neither here nor there. Um, so then West Miz and Kit Wilson came out there because it was things not to be on the show, and that caused Danhausen to come out with a bunch of little Danhausen people, and he did his little stuff with John Cena and things like that. And one of the little people hit Kit Wilson in the dick, and then they beat up Miz and everything like that, and they had Miz, and then I don't know what happened. I don't know if the lights were supposed to go down or what it was, but there was a puff of smoke, and then Danhausen ran under the ring, and then little people ran under the ring as well. So Johnson was just there laughing. So after that, we went to the main event, Roman and Punk. Roman having it really is very easy to do a special WrestleMania entrance for Roman. Get somebody who can play a grand piano, somebody who can play some drums, and an opera singer who's got a great voice, and you can do the entrance just like that. Amazing. Remember they did that for Bad Blood, and all of us was like, they're getting special entrances for Bad Blood. Okay, I, but this was unreal. Back in the background doing this entrance, they were showing who I'm calling the forefathers of the Anawahi family: Peter Via, Alpha, Sika, the Wild Samoans, and Yokozuna. And so I thought that was great. So I thought that was great. Um, then he went down the ring, did his entrance, and then we did the Punk. But we started. It was all around Vegas. And Punk was sitting up there on that Allegiant Stadium, and they were going through all the things for Punk. And then they started to play. I'm guessing what is Punk's old school Ring of Honor thing. I'm guessing that is what that is because the crowd started going crazy. Denise Salcedo on her screen, she was going crazy. So they get her out there, and then Punk walked out so that get to the middle of the scene, did the It's Clobbering time, and then Cult of Personality played. Then the white jacket, he had a jacket on. He had a crown on the back for how to race. He had somebody on the right side of the front side, the right front side of the coat. He had passed away. He had three names on his right arm, including current selfies. They had passed away. All these were part of the WWE family. He had a picture on the left side of his dog Larry, who had passed away. And then I don't think he had anybody on the left side. Um, but yeah, he had a Puerto Rican flag on his left arm, which I'm obviously guessing that's for AJ, who is Puerto Rican. Um, and it was he was all in white. It's all in white. So I knew he was bleeding today. And he had said it on the he had said it on Monday on Raw. He had said something that when his face is caked with the dried blood, everything like that. So yeah, you kind of knew. And yeah, he's really good at it. He's really good at hiding doing it. The camera was on him and I was looking at him all the time when he was doing it. You know, at one point he gets hung upside down, and Roman is just Superman punching him in the head, and then hits him in the head with the steel steps. And like I said, the camera's on him, and I'm looking at him, and doesn't look like he's blading, or if he is blading, he's doing it really quickly. He has it in his hand, and then he gets hit. He goes, oh, and then he goes like that, and he's doing it like that. Or something like that. I think at one point he even maybe went to his mouth. Maybe did like the old Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan would hide the blade in the mouth. And when it was time, he would go to his mouth, take it out, and then gig. Maybe that's what it was. He had to, he went to the mouth to either put it back in or take it out. I don't know what the hell it was. But great job at hiding it. But this was great. This was great. I don't think he was expecting anything else for it to be great. Great story told. And it goes back to, I think it goes back to Punk, the thing about Punk being old, right? Because for the most part, Punk kept up with him. But Punk had a reaction for every action of Roman, right? Roman kind of had control over the heel and things like that. Um, then it went back, and then Punk, he got his stuff. He was getting his stuff. He got his second wind and everything like that. And we got to the point to where he had got Roman on the table. He went up to the top and did a jump off of the top rope onto the table where Roman was. Got him in the ring. He hit him. Went up for the go GTS. Hit him one time, and then they were going to do the spot that they did with Seth. They had done with Seth before. Then he did with Jay at the Saturday Night's main event, where he better put him on top of him. He get his GTS. The woman falls back into the rope. He falls down on top of him while Punk is down. And then he was going up, stood up, looking as he's going to hit another GTS. But but again, then they played on the fact of him being old. This was 30 minutes into the match, right? This match apparently went like 33 minutes. I think someone said on Denise's in Denise's show. 33 minutes. Exhausted, then bust open, lost some blood. When he just couldn't do it, and then he collapsed. Roman rocked off, hit Punk with a spear, got him up, went for the super spear, whoop, whoop, hit spear, 1, 2, 3, and new World Heavyweight Champion Roman Reigns. Tremendous. Shawn Michaels is Mr. WrestleMania. Somebody talked about that Seth Rollins should be up there, and I think somebody also said somebody said that maybe Becky Lynch should be Miss WrestleMania. Let me tell you something. Okay, fine, Mr. WrestleMania, whatever. Just call Roman Reigns the biggest WrestleMania main eventer ever, ever. WrestleMania 39. No, actually, let's go. Let's go back. WrestleMania 37, Edge and Daniel Bryan. Tremendous. WrestleMania 38 versus Brock. Pretty good. WrestleMania 39, Night 2, was Cody Rhodes. 5 stars. WrestleMania 40, Night 1, tagging with The Rock against Cody and Seth. 5 stars. 40, Night 2, Cody Rhodes, Blood Ryan Rules. 5 stars. 41, Night 1, Triple Threat. Him, Seth, and Punk. 5 stars. For WrestleMania 42, Night 2, him and CM Punk. 5 stars. Roman Reigns is the biggest WrestleMania main eventer there has ever been. And I don't think you can even argue. And I'm not talking about the number. Sure, he has 11 WrestleMania main events, but I'm talking about, in particular, the last 5 years, 5 fucking star in the WrestleMania main event. Amazing. Just amazing. I don't think there's anyone bigger or better than Roman Reigns. So that is it for WrestleMania, baby. Night 1, night 2. Night 1, decent enough. Night 2, totally better. I think people are still going to probably complain a little bit. Um, Matches were longer, but not by much. Um, but the main event and the WrestleMania and the ladder match are going to put this over Night 1 big time for a lot of people. It for me as well. So now we see where we go. We've got the future in the business in Obafemi. We've got one of the hottest guys in the business in Trick Williams. We've got one of the biggest stars back on top in Rhea Ripley. We've got Paige back in the WWE, and she's a tag team champion. There are so many other things that we have going on here. And then not to even mention the Orton Cody stuff that is going on. And Roman Reigns is back on top, probably where he belongs. Oh, and Braun Breaker's back. So that's that's the thing now. All right. I'll be watching Raw tomorrow night. I know you guys will too. Post your comments down below to me what you guys think and what you guys thought and think in the comment section. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. This is your boy AJTRIP signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.